So what we are talking about financial management की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, so this one is the this one topic now. So when we are talking about the financial analysis techniques now, so we will discuss about what is the financial analysis techniques. Now, first is the simple payback period, right? So we can say it is SPP also. So it is just it will be a first approximation now. So whatever the number of years, whatever the time required is there, and that time which is required to get recover the initial investment, it is the first cost. Okay, so we are considering that the net annual saving जो आपकी एक net annual saving हो रही है. So when the simple payback period, when we are talking about, so we how we calculate the simple payback period, right? So financial analysis techniques we are seeing here. What are the analysis tools which are relevant to the energy management project? We will discuss one by one. First thing, that is the simple payback period that comes into our mind. So simple payback period, we can say it will represent whatever the first approximation is there, whatever the time is there, that is in number of years now. So that time is there to we are recovering our initial investment now. So whatever the first cost, how we are recovering that first cost, and we are considering the net annual saving also, right? So whatever the savings we did, that is the net annual saving is there. We are considering that, and the simple payback period, it will represent the first approximation or the time that will be number of years, that time which is required to recover the initial investment. That is the first cost. So we are saying that this is the simple payback period. Okay. So we are taking the example over here. So simple payback period, when we are talking about, that will be the first cost, right? Divided by yearly whatever the benefits you are getting, or uh, the yearly benefits are there, minus the yearly cost. Okay, that is a simple payback period. One formula is there, that is the first cost divided by yearly benefits minus yearly cost, right? So simply when we are talking about the here example is there. So uh, simple payback period, when we are talking the continuous deodorizer that cost about 60 lakhs, okay, for purchasing, to install, and 1.5 lakhs per year on the average to operate, whatever the maintenance cost is there, whatever the operation is there. So 1.5 lakhs per year on the average. Okay, and we are expecting that rupees 20 lakh to save, and by deducting or by reducing the steam which is consumption is there. Okay, so we can calculate this one now, simple payback period, because the deodorizer, it costs 60 lakhs now. So 60 lakhs, in that is the first cost we did over there. So instead of that one first cost, because it's 60 lakhs, you put 60 lakhs over there, right? 60, and whatever the installation and the other things now, that will be 60 lakhs that come, right? uh, 60 lakhs, right? So now here, this one 60 lakhs you did for a continuous deodorizer. This one it cost 60 lakh for purchasing or for installing, that 60 lakhs. That is the first cost. And you know that the yearly cost, that is 1.5 lakhs per year on the average to operate or to maintain it now. And whatever the saving yearly benefits, say a saving you are getting, we are getting that 20 lakhs. Okay, so by reducing the steam consumption, so you just put in this formula, so you will get a simple payback period. So whatever the payback criteria is there. Okay, the shorter whatever the payback period now. So desirable when we are talking about, because we just yeah, paid initial cost, the first cost on that is 60 lakhs on to purchase and install. So that is the first cost 60 divided whatever the yearly benefits you are getting or saving you are getting, that is 20 lakhs. That is 20 minus whatever the yearly cost now, that will be 1.5. That is 3 years and 3 months. Okay, from this formula we can calculate the simple payback period. And whatever the advantages when we are talking about, so simple payback period, whatever the payback period is there. So when we are talking about the advantages, it is very simple. Okay, in terms of concept and application. Okay, so it is obvious that shorter payback when we are getting, so it indicates the most attractive investment. Okay, so it is not a complex or tedious calculation. We don't need the tedious calculations now. So simple payback period, the advantage is that it is very simple, both in the concept or in the application point of view. Okay, so it indicates that it is very attractive investment. So it don't have any complex calculations. It does not have to use the tedious calculations. Okay, then the simple payback period, the other advantage, it favors whatever the project is there. It is favoring the project, and which is just which can generate the substantial cash. Okay, because project is there, so it will generate the substantial cash that is that will be inflow in the earlier years now, and discriminates against projects, right? So from this, it will bring the substantial cash flow, whatever in the later years, but now in the not in the earlier years. Now we're talking about the advantage, other advantage, whatever the project will favor, and it will generate whatever the in cash flow in the earlier years, previous years, and it will discriminate against the projects. And obviously it will just bring the substantial whatever the in cash flows there in the later years or later on, but not in the earlier years. No. So obviously, if it is having advantages, so it has to be some limitations also, right? So whatever the limitations when we are talking about the simple payback period, so first it fails to consider the time value of money. Okay, it is failing to consider whatever the time value of money, whatever the cash which is inflowing. Okay, in a payback calculation, so it is simply add. Okay, any discounting would be there, it will simple add, and whatever it will just violate whatever the basic principle that of the financial analysis. So that is the limitation, and which stipulates that cash flows occurring in different points, right, of time, and it can be added or subtracted only after suitable compounding or discounting considerations. The other limitation is there. Whatever the cash flow, you will just ignore beyond the cashback period. No? So beyond the cashback period, it ignores the cash flow. So when it ignores the cash flow, so it will lead to the discrimination against project. Whatever the project, this discrimination over the project that will generate the substantial, whatever this is generating the substantial cash inflows in later years. So we are illustrating it this, right. So we have two projects over there, right. So to illustrate, consider the cash flow with two projects, like it be A or B, right? आपके 6 साल है यहाँ पे, whatever the investing savings in year ना, so whatever the payback criteria that is preferred to A, and which has to be payback period of for 3 years in comparison to B. So here it is shown that investment savings in year, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and whatever the cash which is flowing over there, okay, all right, that is cash flow of A and the cash flow of B, okay, all right. So rupees 1 lakh is there for this one, B also 1 lakh is there, right. So this one. So here it is shown that 50,000, then 30,000, 20,000, 20,000, then this one, fifth, 10,000, 50,000, right? So the payback criteria, that is prefer A, and in that the period is 3 years in comparison to B. Okay, and B, which is having a payback period of 4 years, right? So even the B has a substantial B. It is obvious that it is having a substantial cash flows in a year, right? So 5 and 6. Uh, we just see substantial cash flow in the year 5 and 6. Okay, so whatever the project, the capital recovery is there, right? So it will just measure whatever the project recovery you are getting, either it will be profitable, not profitable, not profitable. We are getting and some limitations we discussed about. Despite the limitations are there, but simple payback period, it is having the advantage, right? In that may be useful for evaluating the investment, right? And now the thing is the other that parameter comes into our mind or into picture, that is time value of money. What is time value of money, right? Whatever the projects we are having over, or the project it is having a investment. Okay, investment is there in the project. Okay, so we are putting the initial cost for installation. So investment obviously it is there now. So for that investment, we have to be something money with us now. So that initial cost should be there for the installation. So we are saying that initial cost as a capital cost. So when we are starting a project now, and it needs the investment, and for investment, initial cost of installation is there. So we are saying that it is a capital cost. Okay, and annual cost or cost saving, right? That will be there. That is whatever operating is there, what are the other features that is the are there, that maintenance comes in, comes energy. Uh, so it will be considered throughout the life of the project. So we are doing an investment for a project. Initial cost is there now. That is the capital cost, and other cost, saving and all that, and you're putting cost on maintenance, operation, other things now. So it will be there throughout the period. Okay. So whatever the project feasibility is there when we are accessing it. Okay, whatever the present or the future cash which is there, which will be there, it will be equate on the common basis. Okay, so the problem when we are talking about uh, when we are talking about the problem of cash flow, okay, which will there in the different types, okay, times. So whatever this one now, it will be a value of money with time. Whatever the value of money with this time, it is changing. So by this, whatever various cash flows, whatever the cash which is flowing, so we are saying we are relating to it to the discounting, or we are putting that at the present value concept. Okay. So time value of money, when we are talking, we are taking an example. You are going to deposit in a bank, and with that money which we are depositing in a bank with this bank, so it is having a 10% interest. 10% we are depositing money deposited in the bank, and it is having this one 10% interest. Then 100 rupees 100 will be worth. Okay, so then a rupees 100 deposited, whatever the rupees 100 deposited, it will worth rupees 110 in 1 year time. Okay, 100 you deposited 110 now. that is worth with 1 year time. So we say thus rupees 110 in 1 year, that will be the future uh, value equivalent to rupees 100 in the present value. Okay, so we are talking about when we are submitting or depositing some money in depositing in a bank with it having a 10% interest. So 100 you deposited and it will be worth 110. Okay, 10% okay interest now. So 110 in the year time after 1 year now. So we say that rupees 100 in 1 year. Okay, 110 which is in the 1 year, that will be the future equivalent. Okay, to the 100 present value. So in the same manner, when we are seeing 100 rupees receiving 1 year from now, so 100 rupees we are receiving 1 year from now is the only worth of 90.91 in today's money. Okay, so that will be rupees 90.91 and it will just plus the 10% interest equal rupees 100. Okay, so 90.91% it will represent the present value of rupees 100 cash, which is flowing in 1 year in the future. And if the interest rate were something about different than 10 years, 10 years different from 10%. So whatever the equivalent present value, it will also change. So the relation between the whatever the present and the future value, we can uh, determine by this the future value, that is FV we wrote here, and that is NPV. NPV is the net present value of the cash flow. That is I plus 1 plus I raised to power n, and n is the number of years in future, and I is the rate of interest. Sorry, interest, whatever the interest or discount rate, right? So from this we can this one the future value, whatever the future value is there now, that will be NPV, that is net present value of the cash flow. Whatever the present value of the cash flow, that is I 1 plus I raised to power n, that is the n is the number of year in the future, and I is the what I'm say it is a interest or a discount rate. Okay, so or net present value in cash we can get it from here, that is the future value divided by 1 plus I raised to power n, where n is the number of years and I is the rate of interest, right? Then the other terms which comes into this one now, that is a return on investment. Return on investment, that is the annual net cash flow divided by the capital cost into 100. So it is always higher than the cost of money, that is interest rate now. So whatever the great the return on investment, better is the investment. So whatever the rate of interest now, when we are talking about rate of interest, it expresses the annual return. Whatever the annual return you are getting from the project. So we can say it's a percentage of capital cost. Okay, so annual return, that is taken into account the cash flow on the project life, and whatever the discount rate, and that will converting the total present value of the ongoing cash flow to the equivalent annual amount of life of project. So we are saying that return on investment, whatever the annual net cash flow is there, whatever divided by the capital cost into 100. So just remember this, that the rate of interest equal to annual net cash flow divided by the capital cost into 100, right? So this one, rate of interest, it is always higher than the cost of money or the interest rate. The greater the return on investment, obviously the better uh, is the investment, right? Then limitation, obviously limitation is there. It don't it does not take any into account whatever the time value of money now. In other case also, it does not account for the variable nature of annual net cash inflows. So now net present value. Net present value, obviously, which is the project that is a sum of the present values of all cash flows. Whatever the cash flow is there, it is the sum of all cash flow that is associated with it. So symbolically, when we are talking about the net present value, that is whatever CF naught, CF1, CFN, or time t equal to 0 to number of years CFT divided 1 plus k. That is the net NPV notation here. That is the net present value. And whatever the CFT, okay. So cash flow, which is the cash flowing at the end of year. So either it will be end of the year, one, two, up to n number of years. And n is the life of the project. What is project life, right? Uh, and obviously k is the discount rate. So when we are talking about the net present value, so it is the project of project of net present value when we are talking about a project now. So it is the sum of present values of all cash, whatever the sum of present value of the all cashes that will flow when that is associated with it. So CFT is the cash flow that is occurring at the end of year, that is t equal to 0 to 1 or up to n number of years, and equal to life of the project. K is the discount rate. So discount rate, when we are talking about, it is employed for the evaluating whatever the present value of the expected future cash that will flow through reflect the risk of the project, right? So we are illustrating by giving an example of this one. So this one, see, uh, whatever when we are talking the calculation of the net present value. So we are considering the project in which the cash flow stream is like this. That is the investment saving that the year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever the net cash flow, that is rupees in rupees. Also cash flow for the year one, right? 2 lakhs for two. This one year two, year three. It is shown here. So when we are talking this one, so capital cost, that is K. Okay. So the capital cost of a film, that is 10%. Okay. So the net proposed value, this one, present value, this one is shown of the proposal, that is the net present value according to this formula. Okay, that's CF naught equal to CF1, whatever CF naught. Okay, uh, 10 lakh. Okay, so that is divided by 1 plus k, that is you are having 10% this one for a firm, right? So we are just substituting in that equation, so we will get the net present value, right, according to this formula, right? So, so when we talked about this one, so we got this, right? Okay, so we are just putting the values in this equation. Okay, so whatever the investment that is, so we saved that is this was saving in year now, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this one, right? So just substitute the values in that equation. Okay, so we will get the net present value. It will represent the net benefit. Okay, whatever the over or above the compensation for time and risk. So uh, that is the net present value. So obviously it is having advantages. Take that is it will just take account into time value of money. It considers whatever the cash flow stream in its project life. Then the other thing that will come into internal rate of return. Okay, so internal rate of return of a project is the discount rate, whatever the discount is there. Okay, and which makes its net present value equal to zero. Right, so net present value according to that equation, what we did in the last this one. So here, so here the net present value is zero, right? See, so net rate of return IRR, the internal rate of return or the internal rate of that is IRR of a project is the discount rate, and which discount rate that makes the present value net present value that will equal to zero. Okay, so we are putting here that is zero. CFP obviously it is the cash flow at the year end of the year T. Okay, time it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, K is the discount rate. Right, so N is the life of the project. Okay, so CFT whatever the value will be negative if the expenditure and positive if it is saving. If the expenditure is there, then it will be the CFT value will be negative. Okay, and it will be positive when if it is sharing, right? So here we are seeing here, right? So when we are illustrating the internal rate of return, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 years now. So this one for 0 a lakh and just put the values over there. So here one parameter that is K. Okay, the calculation of K is the calculation of K that will involve a process of trial and error. Okay, if we are trying the values of K, then we will see that we'll find the right hand side of the above equation that will be equal to 1 lakh. And when we are talking about K, try 15%. So which makes the right hand value this one. Okay, right. So the value of this one, no, it is higher, whatever the target 1 lakh, no. So when we have to when we are increasing or we increase the value of K from 15% to 16%. Okay, here we go the 15% to 60%. We increase this one. So by substituting that in the equation, so we see that this value is now less than 1 lakh. So we are calculating that the K, it will lie between the 15% or 60%. Okay, so this one is there. Okay, so this one is the advantages. Okay, we are taking account of time value of money. We are considering the cash flow stream, whatever entirely we are saying here. Okay, and whatever the limitation is there, whatever the internal rate of return figure, it cannot distinguish whatever between the lending and what borrowing. Okay, so the high internal rate of return that is not necessary to be a desirable future. This one feature now. Okay, here if we are seeing the example, so we are going to calculate the internal rate of return for an economizer that cost rupees 5 lakh, and that will be last for 10 years, and whatever the fuel saving is 1 lakh 50,000 each year. So find the I that will equate the following, right? So that will be A 10 years, okay, and I we have to find now. So rupees 5 lakh equal to uh, 1 lakh 50,000 into PV, A equal to 10 years. Okay, So we are calculating to this one. So here, when we are calculating this one, calculate the net present value. Okay, or whatever the I values is their net present value for 25%. Okay, for 30%. Okay, so it is whatever this one is coming minus this uh, the cost, right? So when we are saying the height is for 20%, no? So I is for 25% or 10%, no? So we can find it by this method, right? Okay. So these are the things that we are talking about this uh, return cash, right? So the next in the next class we will discuss about uh, the other aspects which are there in financial management. So whatever the other things which are there, whatever the continuity and all that now, energy performance contracting role of ESUs. Okay, so these are there. Okay, so next class we will just go through this and okay, so just a minute. Okay.